Good afternoon and happy Friday to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Weekly Chat with Carla. Today, I wanted to talk about something that's very important and also exciting, and it's actually in regards to the holiday season, which it could mean holiday fever for a lot of us, and then it also could mean holiday blues for others. Okay. Um, it's a time of joy and celebration for others, and for others, like I said, it could be holiday blues. And there are several reasons why one would suffer from holiday blues. And the first one is being alone. In other words, is whether you have a health issue and hi baby, hi Alex, thanks for joining baby, and you actually can't travel. It could be financial reasons, it could be that you're in another country, it could be several different reasons why one can't travel to be with a family member. So one of the reasons it could be being alone, which can actually during the holiday season, meaning not being able to spend time with family and friends, which could cause someone to go into depression. Number two, loss of a loved one during the holiday season. In the past, if you actually lost someone, hi baby, if you actually lost a loved one during the holiday season, it could be very, very hard on that individual because it can bring up a lot of sad memories and being overwhelmed with grief. So a lot of times if someone has lost a loved one during the holiday season, when it actually comes around, it brings back that sadness, that grief. So it actually can cause someone to go into depression as well. And sometimes they actually aren't real good about being around others because they really don't want to be around others because they're consumed with that thought and that grief, the sadness when they lost that loved one during that time. Another reason could be financial pressure. I know a lot of us do this to ourselves. In other words, we get so overwhelmed with I'm not going to be able to buy my family, like my immediate family or the extended family. I can't be able to buy them gifts. I don't have the financial means. I don't have the money. And a lot of us do that to ourselves. I notice a lot of people do, which is actually not good. And it actually can cause anxiety, stress, and it actually can cause depression during this time as well. Tips to fight against the holidays blues. On the first one that I talk about, if you're actually alone, like I said, it depends on the reason. Like you said, it could be your health wise, or like you said, financial wise, or if your loved ones or something are in another country. I would just suggest maybe being proactive, maybe the year before, even if it's a year or two before, try to make arrangements to be able to go visit family members or get with your family member during the years and speak with them to see if they actually can come to you. That way you won't actually be alone during the holiday season. If your family members have the means, financial, and able to travel and have their help, and they can actually set up something to come to you, that way that you won't be alone is a good idea. Or like I said, if you can, maybe take a vacation to go see your family members, or ask ahead of time for family members if they can schedule their vacation ahead of time, of course, because a lot of people, if you're at work, it depends on where you work at. You actually have to put that time in early. Otherwise, some people get off, some people don't. It depends on where you work at, because I know being when I was in the corporate world and being in the hospital environment, as long as you was like in the administrative part, most of the time you're going to be off during the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then it depends on where you at, because when I worked in the emergency room, certain departments in the hospital are open 24/7, and most likely you're going to be working. So that's why I say it's important to reach out to family members, especially the ones that, if they're not entrepreneurs, don't have their own business, and in other words, not their own boss, and they actually work for a company. Maybe speak with them ahead of time to see if they can take off maybe the following year or the next 2 years, to put in the time ahead of time to be able to come see you, for you actually won't be alone, okay? And then you can avoid of maybe being alone or being depressed during the holiday season. Another tip for the second one is, if you have a loved one during this time and you're feeling depressed, it's important to actually reach out to a loved one, maybe join a support group or speak with a therapist. And Reaching out to a loved one is actually a good idea. Maybe someone you're actually close to in your family. Going to a support group is a great idea as well. When I mention a therapist, that's actually when the situation gets pretty bad, when you're feeling like it's getting out of control as far as your anxiety or your depression. I would actually recommend reaching out to a therapist at that time, especially if you're going through that sadness for over a prolonged period of time, over a long time. I would definitely maybe reach out to a therapist, okay? And definitely, if it gets to the point even worse than that and you're feeling suicidal, definitely call 911 immediately, or even if you're able to, as far as your mindset, to be able to get to an emergency room, to even speak to someone, to maybe reach out and get some help. That's very important as well. And the last one, we were talking about financial, people going to depression over financial reasons. They feel like I can't provide for my family or my extended family. I would say make sure you're aware of not allowing yourself to get overwhelmed by the wrong meaning of the holidays, because a lot of us take the holidays, and we actually do this to ourselves, and take the meaning and misinterpret the meaning. Actually, the holidays is meant, it's not about how much you can give your family and your loved one. It's about celebrating life with your loved ones and your family. That's the most important thing that you have to remember. It's not always about what you can give them. And if it is for a family member, then they're in the wrong mindset, because like I said, during the holiday season is about celebrating life and being able to be with your loved ones. And that's priceless. You can't put a price on that. And that's what is most important. Actually just being together and celebrating life. That's the most important thing. So try and not bring that anxiety or that sadness or going into that state of mind, depression. In other words, getting stressed out about I can't provide. And even during that time, I know for a lot of people, it's actually hard. And because some people's like, well, you're not understanding. What if I can't get my immediate family or my children anything? There are programs out there that I know that you actually can reach out to as well. Also, I know you can reach out to churches as well, an organization. In other words, what I'm saying is just make sure that you always remember first that it's about being able to celebrate and being able to spend time with your family. That's the most important thing you have to remember for the holidays, okay? It's about not receiving, but giving, and actually giving that time, and to be able to spend and be grateful and thankful that you'll be able to spend that time with your loved ones and that they're still here. That's what's important. I was also going to say, watch out during this time of year. In other words, even for yourselves, for ourselves, or even for a loved one, the signs of maybe depression sneaking up on a loved one, or even for ourselves. And some of the signs of depression, the holiday blues, could be feelings of sadness, and I'm talking about like over a prolonged period of time. Just be aware of that. Or if you're around a loved one, just kind of watch them. In other words, if they're sad over a long period of time, I would say pay attention and be aware of that. If they're in a dark mood, a lot of times, and some people don't even understand what causes them to be in a dark mood during the holiday seasons. And there usually is a foundation, underlying reason for it. But if you have a loved one or even for yourself, like I said, just kind of be aware of that. That's important. Another reason is, a sign is a lack of energy. In other words, because most of the people during the holiday season, if you notice, they have a lot of energy. They're out running around. They want to buy gifts. They're just wanting to be out and about during the holiday activities. So if you're actually seeing someone who's actually just kind of withdrawn, that's another sign. If they're withdrawn, don't even want to talk about the holiday season, doesn't really have a lack of energy, those are signs. Feelings of self-harm or even death, like if you're having thoughts of harming yourself or even death during the holiday season, I would be aware of that. Or even if you're actually speaking with a loved one or hear a loved one having a conversation or ending a conversation with you, and they mention death or even mention feelings of self-harm. That's important too. Those are signs as well. Changes in sleep pattern, even like I said, for yourself or a loved one. If you notice during the holiday season that they sleep pattern changes, like if they're not able to sleep, that could be another sign. A change in appetite. Whether that person eats a lot and then all of a sudden just doesn't have has a loss of appetite, or vice versa, doesn't really eat a lot and all of a sudden they're just eating a lot. In other words, just a change in their appetite as well. So those are just actually some of the signs. There's several more, but those are just some of them that I touched on to be aware for ourselves. Because even for me, myself, I know in the past, as far as anxiety and depression, I know I've actually had it over the years in the past. And the most important thing that I've learned, even where I'm at in my life today, is the signs. It really is important, is to watch for the signs, because if you don't watch for the signs, then actually that's when the situation can get worse, and especially if you don't address it and do something about it. Okay, I hope you gained some value from this week's chat with Carla, and look forward to bringing you some more valuable content next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and feel free to like and share to anyone that you think could benefit from this video. Thanks for being here, and even if you're actually watching the replay of this video, thanks, Alex, baby girl. Thanks for watching, baby, and joining. And I'll look forward to speaking with you all actually next week. I actually have a interview, even if it's not week, coming up probably sometime this month. Actually, I have an interview with someone that we're actually going to be bringing some valuable content. So please actually join me. Like I said, the weekly chats with Carla, I'll be trying to make sure that I'm staying on schedule. For any reason, if I can't have it, I will actually send out a message. And if you're actually a subscriber, you will stay updated as far as with my blog. If you're a subscriber to my blog, which is www.whynotme, www.whynotmeclt.net. That's my blog. And if you actually want to go on there and register to become a subscriber, you will actually get all the notifications. And I would also probably try to post it on Facebook as well for any reason if I can't. But otherwise, the weekly chat with Carla is going to be every Fridays at 12 noon, and that's Central Standard Time. Thank you for joining. And once again, like I said, I hope you gained some value from this video. And once again, I just want to reiterate how important it actually is to pay attention to those signs, whether it's for yourself or for your loved ones. And I want everyone to enjoy the holiday season. And on that note, I just wanted to also say, and I will actually include it in the video, there is a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and that telephone number is 1-800-273-8255. And you can use that for yourself if you feel like that you're actually struggling during the holiday season with depression, or if you actually have a loved one or a friend that you're actually concerned about. And once again, that telephone number is 1-800-273-8255. Thanks for joining. I'll see you all next Friday. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. Bye.